those who are pointing out the truth ultimately become enemies of the state.
Kim, driving in Nebraska, your turn on Coast to Coast. Kim, go ahead.
Hi, Stephen. You mentioned about the giants, how much larger they were than the human women, and that they tear the women apart, taking the babies.
Yes.
Well, how are they conceived?
How are they conceived? Well, one of the things and that's a good point, one of the things that people don't realize is that the angels that were the fathers of the baby can basically take on human form. The bottom line is Jesus said the devil himself can present himself as an angel of light. So while they can size themselves accordingly to produce children, the bottom line is the acceleration of the supernatural element with the human DNA causes the baby to grow, and that's evidently what takes place.
Okay, thank you. One or two more, and we're out of time, Stephen. Ian in Toronto, you are California. You are on the air with us. Hi, Ian.
Hello there.
Yeah.
You were talking about the Illuminati, and I was wondering, who are these evil men and women? We don't know who they are. Is there 200 or 300 of them, and can they be arrested because they're traitors to the human race?
One more time.
You were talking about the Illuminati?
Mm-hmm.
Who are these men and women? Because nobody seems to know who they really are. Are they the same people that the Bilderbergers are? Are they one and the same? I mean, who are they? Because nobody knows who they are.
I would say they're above most people that we would think who they are. We think of part of the Illuminati, big bankers and people like that, but, I think they're even above that. People's names that most people wouldn't even recognize. Stephen?
Well, absolutely. The real puppet masters are behind the scene.
They don't want the publicity.
Right. These are guys that most people wouldn't even know their name. Now, obviously, the international bankers are the ones that fund a lot of this, but John Coleman wrote a book one time. Dr. John Coleman wrote a book called The Committee of 300. But when you're talking about the Bilderbergers and the world's elite, you're talking about captains of industry. And when you're talking about the super wealthy, they use their money for power. I once spoke to one of their poster children, and he told me it's not the money, Steve, it's the power, it's the control, it's the ability to decide who lives, who dies. I said, so basically you guys all want to be God, right? And he said, no, Steve, basically we are God. And I said, well, I got news for you. The real God will probably challenge you on that issue.
Foster in West Palm Beach, Florida. Take it away, Foster, really quickly.
Yes, George, love your show.
Thanks.
And Steve, I appreciate what you do on the front line. I want to know with World War III that's in the making here, and with the presidential election, which person who's running for president is going to be the one in office when all of this occurs? Because I feel that the secret societies are the ones who basically are picking, you know what I mean, picking the person, for president. And have you ever been threatened before?
All right, Stephen, 1 minute to go.
Absolutely, I've been threatened. Absolutely. I don't believe that we have a real choice. We can have any color car, as Henry Ford once stated, as long as it's black. I think the bottom line is that we have a choice. The fascinating thing is the question really should be asked, if we get into war ahead of the election, will there be a war? And will there be election if we square up with Russia? If Russia is concerned with McCain versus Obama, then obviously things could escalate. And I don't think people are informed to the point of recognizing what presidential decision directives and executive orders exist to handle that ramification. In other words, we could have it suspended.
Keep us abreast of your personal situation, will you, my friend?
I will. Thank you, George.
There he is, Steve Quayle. Always brings us some fascinating information, even though in most cases it scares the daylights out of you. Stephen Quayle, his website, linked up at coasttocoastam.com. There you go. Well, for Kiris Coburn, Dan Galante, Tom Danheiser, Lisa Lyon, Lex Lonehood, Sean Desseur, Ross Mitchell, George Knapp, Ian Punnett, and Art Bell, I'm George Norrie, somewhere out there on Coast to Coast AM. We'll see you on our next edition. Until then, be safe, everyone.